Let's
Our bookmark.
three. There you go. 389. Let's turn to 389. And but let me ask you how you guys doing. So,
Pretty good.
huh?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good is not good enough for me. So.
Amazing. Great. Wonderful.
Oh, that's rare description now. So. what's wonderful about it?
Being able to breathe.
Huh?
Breathing.
That's something to be thankful. Yeah. Yeah. We actually had some smoke recently, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
have you guys heard that everywhere is so hot?
Yeah.
Only our place a little bit good. Yeah.
Our place
That's
is
blessed.
cold. Our place is cold.
Oh,
Than Forest.
by the seaside. Okay.
The last 7 days.
We in the valley is over 80, at least
Wow.
during the day. So
It's raining
some
in
days.
Forest.
Seriously? Rainy? Folks always raining hurt. So
It actually has been really, really sunny the last week
that's
or so.
good. We want some rain. We can't have it. The grass all get dry and yellow. So well, I look at this poem. I don't like the title called Futility, man. So yeah.
Which one?
I'm joking. So. Well, evidently Elijah is somewhere else. We can't wait on him. So, Naomi, how are you doing? Grandma, grandpa visiting. It's a good thing or the bad thing?
It's a good thing. It's always nice to have them around.
Yeah. Why is it good? Tell us.
Just their company. It's
They're good company. Yeah. I was meeting with grandpa. I give him a real hard time, teasing him all around. So.
I could hear the laughing in there.
Turn. Yes. Through the years, already teased me, so now I turn around the tables.
Yeah.
No, I was not impressed by it.
Poor
No,
Krampus.
Huh? What is that? What is say?
We kind of tease him around.
Do you tease him around? Give me an example. How you tease him?
Well,
Naomi teases him more than anyone he's ever known.
Is that right? Okay.
well, he had this
That's
big
nice.
shirt, and
Oh, that's fishing
he
shirt.
accidentally run
What?
an extra large. It
That's
looks
not
like a
nice.
What?
Like a
What did
dress
he?
on him.
What?
It's very stylish. I told him he should walk down a red carpet.
When you comment with that, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody has.
They were just like this bowling.
Yeah. I said, what that shirt? What is that shirt? We're stylish. I told him that. He said, oh, this is a fishing shirt. I said, oh, that's making sense, So cover your body pretty good. So yeah. So what do you think about grandma?
She's pretty good.
Pretty good.
What's happening around?
Get your book quickly. Hurry up. Everybody reading on you. Well, evidently, can be awkward with an old man like me getting older every day. So, don't know what you guys thinking. So, okay, and nobody interested to know what I'm thinking. Hey, what is that? Future?
Yep.
Further or future?
Future.
Further.
Okay, further. Okay, Elijah, why don't you pray for us?
Amen. Father, we love you, Lord. Lord, I thank you for your goodness and your graciousness towards us. I pray that you would bless each one, Lord, as we come together to Lord, learn, Lord, and be taught. Pray that each one of our hearts and minds would be open, Lord, to what you may have to show to us, Lord, and to what you're being taught. So, Lord, I pray that you would just show us your way and your voice. I pray this in your name. Amen.
Well, I'm not necessarily an avid English poem reader. Chinese poem pretty good to me. For most famous poem, I read it once or twice. But English poems most like new to me. I think Noah might read more poems by now than me. So
I got it.
yeah. Okay. The point I'm making, trying to make is that I'm not knowledgeable about certain poets or their poems. Sometimes I read together, I don't understand them at all. So bear with me. And this book even has some footnotes, don't necessarily give you a very good interpretation of some of the poems, so can be challenging. So we first want to talk about the essay. I really like Edward's essay. I'm not read your essay. I think I did in the beginning, but not with the group. I mean, okay, so it's a good essay. Every wrote good. So yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, the last ones impressed me. I remember. I remember collect good.
Actually, I don't remember what I wrote. That was a long
No,
time
do
ago.
I? Documents. Yeah. No, I only have signed him off from essay writing, poem writing. So we're gonna write another essay or the poem.
Poem. I haven't
We
written
haven't done a poem for a while.
Huh? Everybody like write poems. So
Yeah.
even your essay is better. Okay. What's the title?
I picked it last time, so.
What do you guys think about the title? Last time you did the peak title? Last time it was spring in
That's how Angeles.
Last time was
Dreams.
dreams. Oh, that's you like it.
I like that one.
You like that one? Did a good job, somebody.
Oh, what are we talking? Well, I'm not gonna say anything. 'Cause I don't
So
know.
let's ask objective or objective.
I'll give you a theme that you can use to do either.
Oh yeah, tell us.
So each one of you can pick. It sounds really simple, but each one of you can pick a color to be the theme of your poem.
Huh?
I like that. Yeah, that's actually really
So it doesn't have to be a specific color for everyone, but each one has their color. I mean. But it has to be in the theme
A
of
particular
being the theme.
color?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Like the color you like, you know. So my favorite color. Huh. So, what are you
Yeah.
guys thinking?
I like that. I like that.
Okay. How many words? 2 words?
2 words.
Yeah.
Not 3. I
Not
like
3. Okay. Let's write it.
Go names.
Write it as much you want. Okay. So
Okay.
At least over
200
Oh, yeah, I was about to say like
over 100.
Yeah.
It's over 100.
Alright.
Yeah, 100 is a good number.
That's good.
Less than 100, that's no poem.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
100? Yeah, 100 word essay or poem is a good amount.
Especially Elijah's form is that he all repeat. Yeah, repeat the same thing.
Yep.
Yep. So okay, that's assignment is done. So you guys did some great improvement with history study. Very impressed by it. Even the score still, struggling with it. I think it's not because you study the text, rather because you're still learning to be tested with the conversation carried on. So far, any comments on where we are in terms of history learning, poetry? Are you guys still interested?
Yeah.
You much grow up. You might grow over the things. So.
I've been enjoying it.
Oh yeah, you like doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next week we're gonna start chapter. What's supposed to chapter 26?
31.
30?
31, yeah.
31. Okay.
I already read it.
You too faster than me. So.
You're ahead of us.
I have
Yeah.
to highlight my notes.
So you have to understand the teacher is pressured by the students. Always a bad thing. So. Okay, which page we are on, Naomi?
We were on 389,
389.
but it's kind of. Oh no, never mind. It starts on a different thing. Lewis Bogan.
Okay. Louis, what? Louis Bogan. Okay. I'm going to read this bio and have you take on from there. Okay, so
Me.
I'm gonna read the bio if possible. So,
yeah.
Born in Livermore Falls, Maine, Louis Bogan, 1897 to 1970. Grew up in various mill towns around New England. Her parents' marriage was turbulent, frequented by infidelity and dramatic confrontations. Bogan started writing poetry while attending the girls' Latin school in Boston, where she received an excellent classical education. Can somebody remind us what classical education is? Any understanding classical education is?
Education. Sorry.
Yes.
Is it for certain maybe a certain English?
English language education, okay. Greek, Latin, they teach those things, right? So, okay, basically to do with Greek culture, right? So, okay. No, any idea of classical education is? I remember you answered that very well. So,
Yeah, they just have like an emphasis on, like you did mention Latin and Greek, especially Latin, and they focus on rhetoric and it's a very specific approach to historical studies and even scriptural studies sometimes. So.
Okay, it's an education system mostly developed in British, education system. So, Radcliffe offered her a scholarship, but Bogan instead opted to marry an army corporal who was soon transferred to Panama. She gave birth to a daughter there, though she left her husband and returned to the United States. He died of pneumonia in 1920, and Bogan remarried. She published her first book, Poems, Body of This Death, 1923, and became an influential critic. Now in the 20s, the Roaring Twenties, right? It's also a generation called the lost generation. A lot of people become pessimistic about the life, okay? So especially poetry, poets, artists, painters of that. So and became an influential critic. In spite of the success, she fell in and out of depression that was severe enough to require stays for hospitalization. After her second marriage dissolved, she had a brief affair with a young poet, Theodore Rothak. Bogan served as a consultant in poetry to the Library of Congress in 1945 and shared in the 1955 Bollingen Prize with Leonie Adams. Bogan died from coronary occlusion. What that even means, I don't know.
It's a cancer in your stomach.
It's a cancer? Okay. Well, I'm not sure her poetry is going to be good or not. So let's pick one, okay, or two. So, Naomi, why don't you start with the knowledge, the third one?
Knowledge. Now that I know how passion warms little of flesh in the mold, and treasure is brittle, I'll lie here and learn how, over their ground, trees make a long shadow and a light sound.
Well, that's a very interesting one. Okay, somebody else read it for us? Kayla, you read it for us.
Okay. Now that I know how passion warms little of flesh in the mold, and treasure is brittle, I'll lie here and learn how over their ground trees make a long shadow and light sound.
Okay, that is very depressing. Sorry. So, comments? How to understand this poem?
It's kind of weird. I mean,
Weird,
I don't really
yeah.
know how it applies to knowledge. I can't really understand it very well.
Okay. Comments? Esther? Kayla? It's like guessing game,
Weird.
alright?
It's
very
depressing
funny.
for that small of a poem.
It is very depressing. Look at her title for a collection of poems, Body of the Dead. This is dead.
How is it
So,
depressing?
that is depressing. She is a depressive person. Yeah. So,
I wonder if it was because of the death of her husband or something like that.
that might be. I'm not sure. Is her husband died when she got divorced? Or no, she's not. So, she's a very, very weird woman. So what do you think? Nobody think anything?
Yeah.
Nothing?
No comment.
Hold your breath? Hold your head? Hold your head?
Short and
Short and
sad.
depressing, that's it?
Short and sad.
Nobody knows anything? I think I know the meaning of this poem a little bit. Noah?
You know that.
Let's argue the meaning. Yeah.
I think there's a transition in her mind to, perhaps in one way to like reject her involvement, or maybe past involvement with emotion and passion, especially as it involves relationships, and then to look, I guess, to take a more of a, not an intellectual particularly, but almost a more pragmatic approach to life instead
Pragmatic, okay.
of, not problematic, but pragmatic or
Pragmatic.
practical or,
Yeah, pragmatic is realistic or practical. Go ahead.
yeah,
Mhm.
like, yeah, pragmatic, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like more of a realistic world rather than a realistic approach to life rather than one that is seen through the lens of emotion and passion and feeling is
Mm.
what I think.
Challenge you.
Challenge me.
I think she's pretending she's dead. See, she's living in the grave. She lying in the grave, pretending she's lying in the grave, but still conscious. Then you read, now I know how passion
see
warms
that.
later the
Yeah, I can
flesh
see
is
that, yeah.
mud.
Makes sense now. that you
Making
said that.
sense now,
Yeah,
huh? Yeah. The only doesn't make sense is dead people don't write poems, am I right? Yeah, that's interesting. Like fixing a puzzle. Cracking a riddle. How about the next one? Let's see. So I like the last one especially. Lie here, learn. Learn means acquire knowledge, right? So true knowledge. Not the knowledge blurred or damned by passion for this life, but one truly begin to simmer down in the sense, am I? Like that person would be. I lie here, learn how over the ground the trees makes a long shadow, a light sun, which she never pay attention to, seem to be, until she's, dead. Take time to do that. Nice, so interesting perspective. Well, don't think like that, okay? You're not dead, so yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next person. Who wants to read for us the bio?
Read it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Harold Hartkane. Is that what we're on?
Not Harold.
Yeah, Hart, Harold. Yeah,
Harold.
Crane.
Oh, Hart Crane.
Yeah.
Hart Crane, 1899 through 1932, was born in Garrettsville, Ohio, into a home plagued with constant parental feuds and separations.
Oh, so everybody have difficult family life. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Do you guys suffer that as well?
Nope.
Oh, good. That's here. Good to hear.
Setting out for New York in 1916, Crane befriended many of the writers and artists living in Greenwich Village. While his mother supported his interest, his father relentlessly pressured the budding artist to pursue a more practical career. And for years, Crane tried to balance his time and attention between each of his parents and their wishes. He worked for his father in Cleveland for a few years, finally returning to New York to finish his first collection of poems. White Buildings, 1962.
19.
Whoa,
That's-
26.
Mm-hmm.
After the
publication.
publication
Mhm.
of his major work, The Bridge, 1930, Crane moved to Mexico in a Guggenheim Fellowship. He drank heavily during his time and wrote little. Crane met Peggy Baird Cowley. Wow. And with her
You
had
sure
his
it's a
first-
Baird? I don't know, man.
What is it?
I'm teasing you. So sorry. Go ahead.
And had his first heterosexual love affair.
Oh no.
In April 1932, Hinpei set sail for New York City. At noon, the 27th, Crane kept from the ship's stern and drowned.
What? Leapt. He killed himself. Not
Leapt.
kept.
He kept.
Leapt.
That's terrible. He describes the wrong death for him.
Man, these poets are weird.
Just weird. Yeah. Don't be a modern poem.
Is your
Yeah.
more modern?
Yeah, this 20 is the lost generation. But why lost? They're all depressed. But there you go. Maybe there is a good thing to it. Okay.
Wow.
You are something now. So
Kinda.
bless you. Bless you. It's boring, huh? These people are depressing, man. So
I like learning about the people that who
people of the
wrote
old.
it. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, there is a. This is a funny one. Called Chaplin, basically. You know, Chaplin is a famous film director, movie
Where?
director, right? So, have you
This is,
watched it called The Modern Time?
Second film.
Never.
think so.
Okay. Yeah. This were great directors, bloody movie. Okay. Okay. Benji, why don't you read for us? Chaplinsk.
Chaplin. How do you say?
Chaplinsk.
Chaplin.
Oh boy.
Chaplinsk.
Chaplinsk.
Yeah.
We make our meek adjustments, contented with such random consultants, as the wind deposits in slithered and too ample pockets. For we can still love the world. We find a famished kitten on the step, and now recesses for it from the furry of the street. Or warm, torn elbow coverts.
What does covers means? No. So
Some kind of article clothing? No.
I never heard that word before.
You know what they probably are? Those little things on shirts where you see those like patches for your elbow.
Oh.
Probably what that is.
We will sidestep and to the final smirk dally the doom of the inevitable thumb that slowly chafes its puckered index toward us, facing the dull squint with the innocence and the surprise. And what surprise? And yet these fine collapses are not lies, more than the pyroids of any pliant king. Our obscures are, in a way, no enterprise. We can evade you, and all else but the heart. What blame to us if the heart live on? The game enforces smirks, but we have seen the moon in lonely alleys make a grill of laughter of an empty ash can. And through all sound of gaiety and quest, have heard a kitten in the wilderness.
Chaplinsky. Crane was a dedicated fan of the silent film actor Charlie Chaplin. I didn't read this one to try to understand. I don't understand very well. We make our meek adjustments, contented with such random consolations as when deposited in theater too ample pockets. But we can still love the world. We found a famished kitten on the step, and no recesses for it. From the fair street, or warm torn elbow coverts, we will sidestep, and to the final smirk, dally the doom of that inevitable thumb. Then slowly Jeffers' picked index towards us. Facing the door, squint with what innocence and what surprise. Yet these fine collapses are not lies, more than the pirouettes, that must be a French word. What is that one? How to pronounce that, Noah? Pirouettes? Pirouettes of any blind king. Our obsequies are, in a way, no enterprise. We can invade you, and also but the heart. Well, what blame to us, if the heart live on? The game enforced smirks, but we have seen the moon in lonely alleys make a grill of laughter for empty ash can, and through all sound of gaiety and quest, have heard a kitten in the wilderness. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Comments, understanding, too hard for you?
Yeah.
I think it's too over the top, might over top like this size. So. Yeah. You know, Chaplin's film with a certain style, right? Oftentimes it's concentrated on a very sad child, a sad animal, something sad. He make while he making fun, we can making very interesting. But you, in the laughter, you almost like want to cry because you invoke your sympathy of the character he tried to depict. Have you watched his movies a lot?
My dad likes to
Your
watch
dad,
them a lot.
yeah, he's don't have voice, silence movie, making fun of it. Or you might want to watch some. It's free on YouTube somewhere.
I don't think I've ever seen any of his movies.
Oh, he's funny. He's a funny
Is
guy.
it just the ones where they?
Huh?
It's just like black and white. Sound.
Black, white, yeah, no sound. Yeah, it's called a
Yeah.
silent movie.
I've
This
seen,
area.
I've seen a movie.
See
kind of
somewhere,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So what have you? Evidently, this poet envisioning, from my understanding, I may be wrong, okay? A scene, ska means a scene, okay? Like a movie shot, right? So if a can, somebody saw a can't, in the streets, real life story, obviously to him, but it's like the movie he saw. So suddenly think about the can, and in the can, the character included people's life situations, right? So scenes not being in a good state of life, so maybe the poor, the downtrodden, so like abandoned cat, scared about the business, the streets, everything, hiding in the bushes, stuff like that. So that's what they're talking about. And coverts, this word actually very important for understanding the meaning of this whole poem. Covert basically again words hide in a thicket, a thicket. So that's my understanding. No one, any comments?
No, I don't have any background for this.
For what it's
person.
saying, yeah, it's hard.
There's some poems that you can inherently figure out or analyze the meaning without having background, but a lot of these, especially the more recent ones, you have to know.
How to know
about the person.
exactly, yeah. Unfortunately, that's my point. That's what we got. Okay. You guys like reading this stuff? I don't think you beneficial for you. Maybe we can read some more meaningful books for you, or do some more meaningful discussion in the days to come. But I still like to discuss poetry with you guys, writing essay. But this book evidently a little bit overboard for us, so. Any recommendations? Better collection poems?
If you wanted to continue with poetry, I would recommend finding a poet to stick with to
Yeah, study a
Understand a little more.
poet. Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah.
if we learned about a certain poet, we could write an essay on that person.
that right on that
Understand
poem even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we can like read the poem and then write it on that.
yeah. That's like high school boy gonna do. College boy gonna do maybe. Noah's good at.
Yeah,
it.
we studied. Me and Naomi studied the poet Emily Dickerson.
What?
How do you spell?
Did you actually? Because you don't realize.
No, I don't. What,
What are you talking about?
how do you say
Charlie
it?
Dickinson.
Dickinson. I knew that.
Dickinson.
Yeah, we studied
Charlie. What is the
Dickinson.
first name? Charlie Dickinson.
Emily.
Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson. You study Emily Dickinson's poems.
Uh-huh.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
I
there
don't
some
believe
of yours
you.
in here?
You don't?
You
I
did?
don't know
Yeah,
if
I
there's-
Oh, you mean this book?
Not in this book, no.
Through this book?
No, it was another curriculum.
Ah. Okay, hold a minute. I got the Emily Dickinson book.
Let's see if you guys remember anything about her.
Wait, did you do it too?
No.
I thought you did the same for me.
Wait.
You did. No, I don't think you did. Did you do the Good and Beautiful?
Mhm.
Well, I guess, what level were you in those?
Level 1.
I didn't do it last year, so probably not.
Yeah, but we're probably not gonna do it again either, because we finished the high school one. Most of them. I got to book 9. I didn't do the last book. Hey, hey.
Hey,
There
hey.
is some of her
What is this?
here.
Emily Dickinson.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah, my favorite poet.
Maybe we can do this book.
Yeah?
Maybe we can study
Okay.
this poet.
Maybe we could-
That's very interesting poems. Well, I like her poems. So
She lived a pretty solitary life.
she lives a very solitary
Can
life,
I see it?
very secluded life. So this guy. Have you read this, Warden?
Mm-mm.
I think he read it, am I?
I haven't read it because I don't want to read it.
Why not,
A little
sir?
bit too much.
No, I just don't like them very much.
No, I don't like either.
But
I read part of it.
what's
Give it
this?
up. Huh? That's my comments.
Oh, you're-
Yeah.
Secret comments.
I would prefer to
That's
read.
not secret.
I
That's
would prefer to
all.
read his teacher, not himself. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, his father.
See, yeah.
So that's about, is this about her or has her poem?
Just
Oh.
her poems.
I used to try to translate all her poems. I did a few. I did a few even in this book, I believe. Oh yeah, look at that. Translation.
I want to read that someday.
Hope so.
Yeah, maybe.
No, let's shake hands on it. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'll do it. I'll get it.
I'll do it. He's learning Chinese. Who want to learn Chinese now?
Oh yeah, I watched
Mm.
that YouTube video.
Nobody? Yeah?
I didn't know
We
we
are,
listened
we
to
are
that.
weird, right?
Video
Weird.
that
That's
we
a
posted.
bad form of teaching, but they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed
Tell
it.
them what is.
Oh, man.
Good.
Oh, my goodness. I know it. It's just.
You don't know it, not personally.
Let me see.
No. See, I told you to practice, man. No practice.
Where do I find it? I need to find it somewhere so I can look at it. Like,
It's published on YouTube. You know, look at it. So what?
oh, yeah.
Why I sent to you? Free to read it, trying to review it.
Do you do it?
Give me a break. Don't do that.
I know some of them.
Hey,
just
have
like,
you ordered Rosanna Stone yet?
No, I
I'm
haven't.
going
Why
to give him my
not?
account. I don't want it anymore.
You don't want it? I haven't. I just can't.
Why
I
not?
just
You don't
can't.
like
Because
it?
I have a new way I'm going to do it.
I haven't bought. I haven't purchased it yet because I just don't have just $200.
I'll give him my
right now, so-
account. He doesn't have to purchase it.
Oh, there you go.
How much is Rosetta?
$200.
200 bucks, not bad. Lifelong. Lifelong, pretty good.
Okay, I have Noah's account, so I'll start using that.
Well, Noah said it's useless. Don't use it.
No, it might not be.
I'm joking with you.
Well, I need
Okay,
it.
let's Noah do it.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、4、
Sure.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
that's very impressive, however.
Yeah.
So, very impressive.
I
Good
can do
job. Good job.
See our sounds. Like I just have to hear it one. I just have to hear it one time.
One time, exactly.
One time, and then I can
Yep.
kind of get back into.
There's a problem. You don't need to hear one time. You need to tell others many times.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm so defeated. I like these poems, but I don't understand them very well. Hope I enjoyed with you, but I can't. So let's find Robert Frost. That's one of the modern poems. Poets will wrap up today for poetry session. Can you help me to find Robert Frost?
Find it.
Sounds like a song.
Oh, this girl can sing. I
No,
never
No,
knew.
remember that video?
It's not as catchy as.
What? Yeah. Oh, you know what? We need to ask Benji to teach us Spanish, huh? Yeah.
Robert Herrick.
Robert Frost.
He's on 296.
296. 296.
Yep.
Okay, you read his bio for us. Huh? Look at that. Let's open up.
Nice.
296.
Robert Frost, right?
One of those. Yeah. Okay, be serious, okay?
I'm reading it.
Yeah? Who found it?
Robert Lee Frost, 1874 through 1963, was born in San Francisco. After the death of his father, the family moved to Lawrence, Massachusetts, where the young poet spent the next decade in poverty.
Wow.
He won a scholarship to Dartmouth College, though within a few weeks he dropped out, just as he would leave Harvard 5 years later. Instead, he devoted himself to courting his high school sweetheart, Eleanor White. They were married for 43 years and had 6 children. Early on, Frost, what does it say? Eked out a living as a chicken farmer with a few stints as a school teacher.
Oh, okay. He knows a lot about chicken, obviously. Good.
In 1912, he moved the family to England and published his first book of poems, A Boy's Will, 1913. Before returning to America, Frost's domestic life was marked by enormous suffering. Only one of his 6 children lived out a natural and healthy life.
Wow, that's terrible.
After the death of his wife, Frost's later years were marked by increasing emotional isolation. He won every major poetry prize the nation had to offer, including 4
Pulitzers.
A record no other writer has ever matched. Frost was known as a gifted narrative poet who worked in the formal tradition. The height of his celebrity came when the 86-year-old poet read at John F. Kennedy's 1961 presidential inauguration.
Yeah, we're an accomplished poet. We're a beautiful poet as
It
well.
seems like people write poems based off their past or their feelings.
Yep.
Yeah. Therefore, there's a saying called, a tragic life is a blessing or a gift of poet. Basically, poets, life difficult, inspire their emotional life enriched through poetry. So that's a common phenomenon. Yeah. Well, yawning, patting the books. Basically, you don't want to be here, right?
No, I do want to be here.
Oh, okay. They don't yawn. Okay. So, mowing. Okay. Read that poem for us. Somebody. Esther, read it for us.
Mowing. There was never a sound beside the wood but one. And that was my long what does that say?
Scythe.
Scythe whispering to the ground.
What does scythe means? I don't know.
It's a long thing. You like.
Cut grass
Wait, what
with
is
it.
It's that
right?
long
Yeah.
stick that has that big
Yeah.
blade on the end.
Oh yeah.
Usually see it.
Mhm.
What was it? It whispered. I knew not well myself. Perhaps it was something about the heat of the sun. Something, perhaps, about the lack of sound. And that was why it whispered and did not speak. It was no dream of the gift of idle hours, or easy gold at the hand of fay or elf. Anything more than the truth would have seemed too weak to the earnest love that laid the swale in rose.
What does swell means? Anybody knows?
Well, what?
Swell, S-W-E-L. I think some bird. Low or hollow place, especially in a marshy depression between ridges. So it's basically where the grass was mowed. So go ahead.
Not without feeble pointed spikes of flowers, pale orchises, and scared a bright green snake. The fact is the sweetest dream that labor knows. My long scythe whispered and left the hay to make.
So you look at
That's
it.
interesting.
There is speak, week, hours, snake, make, and my flowers. I don't know exactly how to make it, but there is a rhyme to it. Okay, well, let's now read it. Might give us a sense of the rhyme. So.
Whose bookmark is that, yours? There is never a sound beside the wood but one, and that was my long scythe whispering to the ground. What was it? It whispered. I knew not well myself. Perhaps it was something about the heat of the sun, something perhaps about the lack of sound. And that was why it whispered and did not speak. It was no dream of the gift of idle hours, or easy gold at the hand of fay or elf. Anything more than the truth would have seemed too weak to the earnest love that laid the swale in rose. Not without feeble pointed spikes of flowers, pale orchises, and scared a bright green snake. The fact is the sweetest dream that labor knows. My long scythe whispered and left the hay to make.
No, what does it mean, this poem? It's a little bit deciphered, double meaning, basically. So go ahead. No one comment on it. See if we can decode this poem a little bit.
Robert Frost poems are tough for me. I think
Tough for you.
is I don't know like any full or comprehensive meaning for this poem, but I do think there's like this beauty he's bringing out in not just the setting, but in the hard work or the labor that's being done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so almost like this ethical beauty in a sense, I don't really know,
Yeah.
of labor.
Yeah. My understanding of double meaning is, first I want to share something with you as real life. You know, he evidently cuts the grass, you know, like those mowing, the old days to mowing. It might be Saturday we went to see the property. Who was there? Only know there was a piece of land we walked through, you know. Somebody used that thing called a scythe. Yeah, that's a lot of work. So, yeah. So anyway, Yeah, it was a quiet day. There's not almost, if you don't make sound, almost like no noise can be heard, more quiet. So reminding me that we're talking about who gonna mow that grass in the valleys of the river. Anyway, the other thing I think you really look at is he told me the truth, facts, and partial things out. Talking about the whisper, this is a gentle way of doing things, getting to things, being went through it, so like something is covered by the thick grass, and I grow grass. Unless the things cut down, overturned, the snake or whatever others are not going to be revealed, the facts not be revealed, but it's finally being revealed. So speaking about a way of searching our life that to find the truth, or find the meaning behind the things, rather a little bit laborious, so take a process. So. Okay, am I speaking to the air? Everybody interested?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a better form. I don't want you guys not interested in reading things or studying things together. Okay, so
I am.
yeah. Okay.
Is that
Okay. Let's look at the next one. There is a very famous poem that everybody knows. This is Robert's best poem, most known poem, called "The Road Not Taken." Road Not Taken. Let's look at that. It's on page 301. Naomi, why don't you read it for that? The Road Not Taken.
The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Everybody read this poem before, am I right? It should be in textbook everywhere. No?
I don't think I
I don't
have.
really
Me
remember.
neither.
Okay. Be a good reader, and that's going to read this. Now, nobody can tell you never read this poem. So today you read it, am I right? So, okay, everybody take a turn to read this poem. Go ahead.
Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as far as the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and the leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I keep the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads to way, on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
That's a very beautiful poem, actually. So, anybody have any comments on the thing? Naomi, you read it, commented.
By the name of the poem, I almost take it as something that wasn't done, or I don't know. It seems like it always seems like he's traveling or something.
Hello. Hi. I got a customer. So Road Not Taken. Naomi, finish your comments. You said what? Yawning. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have further comments on this one?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Something not taken, like
Something's
life,
not
maybe?
taken.
I
Yeah.
don't really.
Yeah, let's read the footnotes there. Can you read it for us, the footnote there? According to Frost's biographer.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
According to Frost biographer Lawrence Thompson, this poem was inspired by walks Frost took with his friend, the English poet Edward Thomas, after After one of their best flower-gathering walks, he had said to Thomas, "No matter which road you take, you will always sigh and wish you'd taken another."
That's good, man. Yeah. Sounds very casual, right? But become so meaningful through this beautiful poem. So, anybody volunteer to read a comment for us? Volunteer work right now, so do some volunteer work. So,
I'll read it.
yeah, please do.
The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay on leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, so I took a road that had been taken. So he took the road that wasn't been taken.
It's deep.
Well, that's very confusing now. Because the title is not being taken, so he definitely took the one he taken. I'm
But it's
teasing
just
you.
the road that,
Yeah.
I mean, like, he took the road that was
About
not
the
usually
road that
taken.
wasn't taken.
He's-
Yeah, his title is the one not taken.
And that made it
Yeah.
worse or better?
It's not a worse or better thing. It's
yeah.
about the
not
the
about the-
possibility of things not able to do, right? So might have a new experience or new, who knows what is going on, a new life going on. So, girl, you like me, ready to doze off?
No.
You
I'm ready.
all
I'm
aware?
ready.
Okay, don't look like it.
I'm ready for some
Yeah.
coffee.
Get some coffee. There's coffee. Get some coffee. Now, I watch a certain thing called the timeline. Have you heard timeline? Multi-universe, those kind of things? Multi-possibilities? No? Nothing?
No, no.
Okay.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, you have. Okay. Okay. What's going on? Go ahead.
Huh?
Tell me about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. You say.
You said yeah, so why you say yeah? Then?
No, I didn't say yeah. Did I say yeah?
I thought you know something I'm
No.
talking about. That's why you grace. Okay, Noah, what do you think? Comment on this poem.
Poems about
This poem and multi-verse, whatever.
This poem's about multiverse?
What?
I'm talking the parallel.
Oh, okay.
Think like a poet.
Hmm.
Draw parallels. Like a timeline. I
Wait.
travel this timeline. There may be other timeline for me. Means I have a different life there.
Inside life
I
and
don't
outside
understand.
life.
Okay.
My English is bad. I'm sorry.
Like Back to the Future, where they have a time machine, they've traveled to the past,
Yeah.
and because they come from the future, they're affecting the events of the past, so they create an alternate timeline. So the original one, and then they go back in the future, and they create a new one because they made events go differently.
Yeah.
Have you even seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There
I
you go.
haven't, so I.
You know, when you're young, you love a girl, you marry the girl, not marry the girl. Something I made sure.
What?
That's
It's like
most of the
science.
story goes. Oh, meet the father, you know, reconcile with
Oh,
the
yeah,
father.
that's how
something
the-
like-
yeah.
You know, the story plays the drama there.
I thought
right?
you were
So,
saying something.
the
That's-
emotional drama.
There's
you
a
know,
paradox where
Mm.
if you say it's terrible, but if like you kill your grandfather in the past, then basically that means you never exist.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then how are you able to go back in time and do that in the first place? If you never
Yeah,
existed?
yeah,
So it doesn't
something
make
that
sense.
nature.
Hey,
Yeah.
My brain.
don't say stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
I don't wanna think about that.
the movie called what? The Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Play on that possibilities.
Not alternate timelines, but they do play with.
I forgot the
Like a
movie,
wormhole.
but it's something about warp the time. Am I?
Yeah,
The relationship
Like
changed.
bends the
Yeah.
time weird.
Yeah. He came back. I think he was young. His daughter was quite old or something like that.
Well,
right?
yeah, he came back when he was old because that was actually time because time had
Okay.
passed away quicker. But the part when he's in the black hole and looking
There
at
you
them
go. This
and
is
knocking the books down.
This is exactly the version of what Robert Frost is thinking in his mind. When you think about these two passes, through a morning walk, who knows, evening walk, with his friends, but they think about the life. Instead of the philosopher, philosophize the situation. They say, you know what? If I choose that route, and this route I took will lead me to somewhere else, I may never come back to the same juncture to make a choice to go that route. And I go to the other route can lead me to another route, and if I don't ever come back to the same place, then this route, lead to other route, then my life will change, right? My experience totally changed. So it just give you a poetic expression of some philosophical thoughts about it. For example, you never see Beijing Yangling, you will never know he yawns, right? This young man he never yawns, So so he made at him said that Beijing actually yawns. Yeah, that's interesting. So you have to know that, right? So that might change your life forever. Who knows? Yes, yeah, something like nature.
It's a poetic expression of choices in life, I think.
Yes, please elaborate.
Well, just like what you're saying is the dilemma he has in the beginning in choosing between two roads.
Evidently, all of your minds is so scattered. All of you scattered. You don't necessarily know what you're reading, what you're talking, so you're not engaging very well somewhere else. So think about it, if you don't scatter your mind, what will happen? You will learn something and you engage a topic very interesting to you. And you might walk away write another poem better than Robert Frost's, am I? Okay, go ahead. No, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, finish your thoughts.
So yeah, I just have like really rudimentary thoughts about the poem. But the two things that are important to me is first the reality of there being two different roads, and that
Two different
representing
rows.
to me the expression of his philosophy or his poetic thoughts towards decisions or choices in life, and how that is in a way like choosing between two paths. And maybe not in a menial sense where like just small, it could be applied to generally to small and large choices in life, but I think this was more of a impactful choice scenario because there was this expression he had of trying to speculate what it would be like to go down one path in contrast to another, but he chose one. And the second thing that's important to me is the characteristic of the path he did choose to go down, which was, as we saw, the one that was less traveled by. So there was more, I guess he was saying, it wanted where it hadn't been treaded on very much, as I just said, and had a lot more foliage and maybe things like that. But what I see expressed here is, at least how I understood it, it wasn't actually, it seemed less, the significance of him choosing the other path seemed to have less to do with where the path actually went and what the condition of the path was and what that taught him.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. That's how poetry is narrowed down. A word seems a random everyday life experience, but pointing to a great possibility of a large application. Am I? In this case, it's a life choices. You marry a lady or not marry a lady, a particular lady, that change your life, right? So now, however, sometimes you went through life seems so random, the things so random, it doesn't make it much difference. I just choose this one because seems be at the moment good for me. But Robert Forrest said, well, then thinking about this route I travel, am I not able to come back to facing the same choice again? I can't revise it. That means I'm going on to make another choice, like the similar choice. Another passage of time gave me another experience to me, and literally this one random choice actually defined the rest of my life, or have a huge impact over my life. Now, this is a bigger theme across the ages, a dilemma, whether your life is somehow preordained or up to your choices. Even you're capable of making the choices. Are you making choices cognitively or rationally, you're thinking through of it, or is randomly, casually, you don't really think about it. So the undergirding dilemma has been trouble for human mind through the ages. So yet this poet, this art of the powerful poetry now, able to use a very simple walk, but pointed out this big dilemma of human existence to the whole theme of a philosophy construct. You don't necessarily teach you as a professor, but talking about it. But this is a huge, because in Robert Frost's time, there is a big argument about what life called randomness. The life is going to happen, or does it randomly happen? Those kind of thinkings is a word prevalent in the academic world or philosophical world. And this person fitting into the right time, writing a simple poem, and this a lot of people will say, boom, I can identify with that feeling. I can see that little poems, Moses describing just little smart thoughts of a very casual experience of life, rather to somebody has a profound thoughts, yet expressed in some poem with a simple life experiences, but is a person of great thoughts, great depths. So poetry sometimes has a power. We can write a poetry with good words, good meanings, good beauties, but don't necessarily have a depth, have a weight with what you wrote. Now this poem is so simple, so not string wordy, unique words, but everyday words. Everybody read it will understand the poem really about. But when you look at the depth of it, like Jesus used the parable of the garden, parable of the seas, profoundly bring out life meanings, life thinking to you. This is one of the things your young mind want to really think, okay, how I appreciate poetry, how I appreciate why others appreciate poetry, you need to understand that, So I just try to give you a case study, how you appreciate poetry in a sense. So, that being said, anybody else? Esther, read for us, we wrap it up. Yeah, it's a very beautiful poem. I encourage you, everybody, really get familiar with the poem. It's beautiful poems. So, yeah, it's if it's not number one, it's number two, maybe at least top 5 about American poetry. Okay, so go ahead.
The road not taken.
Mm-hmm.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood,
Mm-hmm.
and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I keep the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
All the difference. I know, interesting. You went through life. Sometimes things were casual, random. Sometimes you have this meaning. Suddenly, I'm meant to be there. I'm meant to meet somebody. I'm meant to do something. So, in a sense, there is a will to. I think that is called real enlightenment. So recognize life is not casual as we think about it. So life, certain things, there is divine evidence, or really meaningful evidences that you're supposed to be there and do something. Or evidently, your mind, all of you, is on the low realm, not engage that realm. So what you need to do in life is learn to identify when you stay with somebody or doing something, bring it prayerfully, whether we're prayerfully, so also aware signs is with you. Life is not as random as you think. Beijing, am I making sense to you?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, express to me why you think it makes sense to you.
Well, like, I don't understand fully what you're saying. That's
It's
not
okay, yeah.
What I mean. Well, what you're trying to say is, I don't know
How to put in words, okay. Let Noah help you out maybe. So Noah, what I try to say, maybe recompose it, reiterate what I try to say.
Well, I think you're branching off from taking a deeper look at this poem, and it's, I guess, more relevant, helpful meaning to us, and not just looking at it from a shallow way. And you're kind of talking about how there's an importance in growing from a mindset of seeing things inherently as random and not meaningful in the sense that life has no meaning. But when you mature to a certain way of thinking about life, you kind of have a wider perspective and scope of the world beyond yourself, then you begin to begin to see things as having a grand theme, I guess, and that things have more of a correlated meaning to one another. And I think what Emmanuel is saying, if I understand correctly, is that even we, as being somewhat younger, and you use the word kind of thinking from a lower realm for the most part, we still tend to think not in that way yet, because we have more of a uncorrelated, or we see things as not having that comprehensive meaning that you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think
there is a cohesiveness and consistency when you walk in the Holy Spirit. You begin to recognize nothing happened to you actually is random. So it sounds random. With that, be blessed, okay? Have
to learn of you and of world things and history and just everything, Lord. I pray that in these times that you would just help us to understand and to really take that and apply it to our own lives and to really understand it fully. I pray that you would just help us all to come to a place where we would be full in understanding and just really be in that place. Lord, I thank you for Emmanuel and Noah and all the other people here. Pray that you would just bless them, and thank you so much for Emmanuel and Noah taking time out of their day to teach us and to help us grow. And Lord, I just thank you for our time. And I pray that you would bless the rest of this week. In your precious name I pray. Amen.
Before you move on with prayer sharing, close your eye. Continue to close your eye here now. In the greatest benefit, if you will, self-discipline is meditation. I'm not saying meditation to concentrate merely on yourself. Meditation is to engage the Lord. Am I prayerfully meditate? Not merely meditate for things what I do, things happening, but meditating His ways. Psalms 18 said, "Let the meditation in my heart," David said, "be pleasing to you." Meditation in my heart be pleasing to Him. Now that is not meditation of the mind. Try to quiet down your soul, your mind. Said, okay, I just want to have a time repose and quietness. That's okay to have those. Is wonderful. But meditation of the heart, there is in David's occasions have a heart for God. David was named as one and characterized by God, said David has a heart for me. For there is not a passive thing. It's really is an exercise of a strong will, strong discipline. How he does that, he said, a meditation in my heart. The other places said, I will put the Lord always beside me or before me. Now there are two ways to put the Lord into your life. Position your Lord or walk with God. Before you give Him account. You give Him account. Is your intent, attitudes, your ways are really He pleased with it or not? With you is that after He pleased with you, you do things with Him, like a friend do things together, right? Walk together, do things together, share counsel together. Amen. Most of the time, our spiritual walk, I did wrong, I want to get things right. Well, then that is very low level fellowship with God. God wants to walk with you, to partner with you, and delight to counsel you into His ways. The Bible said, all these light have seen the acts, miracles God did for them. Open the Red Sea, sound the lightning from the mountaintop. But only Moses knows my ways. Means Moses able to walk with God, to do things with God. Is that making sense to you guys? Three pastors. As a fearful to approach God, the others said, oh God, tell me who you are. Show me your ways. After God showed him his ways, establish him, yeah, you're my sent away. You're the one I entrust. You're the one I please to walk with. He said, I show Moses known God's ways. That's a beautiful place, am I? 3 different places. As when you're young, you learn to meditate. What I emphasize to you is the power of meditation from a different posture of forming a relation with God. You want to be His friend. You want to be the son. You want to be entrusted with souls. The things unfit for that expectation or that posturing or that fellowship needed to write it, discipline away. In a disciplined way, invite God, said, okay, God, I'm sitting here, I'm fellowship with these people, I'm spending time together. It's really only for my purposes, for my enjoyment, or something you want to do, something I can learn from it, something I accomplish. No. In the fullness of His counsel and approval is a joy, a different kind of delight, a different kind of freedom, different kind of adventure almost, excitement comes wrong. God never disappoints those who delight in Him and delight in the Lord. Therefore delight in me. And He said, the other place said, He will do mighty wonderful things with those He delight with. He will give them literally a adventurous life. Not everybody can be a David or a Moses, but think about the kind of life David and Moses lived. Am I? The testimony of Isaiah are definitely more than miracle signs. They live a full life. They live a full life. And they definitely not squanching or try hard. You know, God's used them. God flew through them. Am I making sense to you guys? So I want you guys to begin to learn as you all mature enough. You know, this little teenager don't know how to engage God, how to love God, how to walk with God. And when you fellowship together, make this time of Monday or whatever time with your friends, with others. Get time set apart, say, God, I want to walk with others in you. The society tell us to do this. This is how we be friends, this is how we spend time together, this is how we stay together. These conventions, these traditions, drop it at the doorpost. The doorpost here. Say, no, I'm coming here, this is God's place, it's God's relationship, something God is going to reveal himself and teach me to do something. I know you all eagerly desire God, that's why you are here, am I? So not for any other reason. Let's honor that. Let's make that like a air we breathe, am I? The ground we stand. Amen. Hallelujah. This is a holy ground. When God called Moses, said, take off your sandals. What does sandal mean? Sandal means it's the will of the world in our lives. Okay? The old ways and stuff. That being said, I want to hear your visions. Anybody have a vision?
I did.
Go ahead.
So it started off with this town that was kind of, it was kind of like Georgetown.
Uh-huh.
You know how we're like the main road where we have the little stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was more Western looking.
Yeah.
And there
Wow.
was this man and woman, and they both, like, they back up and you see them both hold each other's hand.
Mm.
And then they start walking down the road.
Mm.
But they end up like, there's these little, I don't know, like pins on the floor that they have to try to walk around.
Pains what it means.
Like
Something can stab your
sharp.
feet.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Mm.
the girl ends up stabbing her foot with something.
Mm.
So the boy takes her, like kind of carries her a
Mm.
little ways till she can walk.
Mm.
And then it goes on a little bit while they're still
Mm.
walking
together. Mm-hmm.
And it happens where they go through this thick, like, bush type tree,
Mm.
and the boy now can't see, but the girl can. So she took his hand and like led him out until he could see again, and then it ended there.
That's interesting. What do you think about it?
I don't know.
That's a good comment.
I really don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know, Benji, if you know what Georgetown is, but that's where we all used to live in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Beautiful little town.
Mm-hmm.
They own the home, the oldest didn't burn down. It saw for 100 years. Yeah, that town was started with, the Golden Rush. People go there to mine gold, in Western movies. So pretty bad, yes. Okay, anybody else?
I just
know
see
we
one
have.
vision.
Mm.
I just saw like an aerial view of some, like just a very large forest, probably mostly pine trees, I think.
Mm.
And I saw from an indistinct point there was a path that came kind of to a central place in, I think, probably the middle of the woods.
Mm.
A very wide, broad path.
Mm.
And I couldn't really see what it was made of, but it seemed to be like a very light colored dirt or stone of some kind.
Mm.
And the interesting thing about it was that it met in the center, it formed like a point. So what it looked like was actually like a carving out of actually like a pencil pin or something.
Hmm.
So it looked like a pin had been,
That's
the
allowed.
path was made out of
Uh-huh.
this,
Oh yeah.
of this pin-like shape because it met kind of like a pin does at a weird point.
Oh yeah.
And also
They met together basically, actually two
yeah,
places.
well, there wasn't two paths. It was one
Okay.
broad
One path.
path that
Mhm.
came and
Oh,
thinned out
come to
into
an end.
a
Okay.
point, like the end of the
Okay.
triangle.
Yeah.
At the end of this triangle, there was actually like the remains of what I think had been like a large bonfire or something. So, interestingly, it was even more like a pin than one might think, because at the end was basically a pile of charcoal, just like.
A pen.
Yeah, just like a
okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the significance of the vision is, but that's all I
That's
saw.
crazy. That maybe you used a pencil this morning. Sharp as a pencil.
Not me.
Go ahead, Elijah.
I actually didn't see anyone today.
I'm disappointed.
Myself.
Okay, let's wrap it up. So, your vision is about to work together, to help each other, to carry each other's burden, to help each other see where God leading us. Right? So, much like Noah's vision is, I think the bonfire, somebody traveled there before, right? So this one leading somewhere. So I don't exactly know what it means. So, but there is a formation of relationship that meant to give you a clear vision or pathway to somewhere else. What do you think, Meijin?
I agree with that.
You agree with that? Okay. Esther don't? Oh, okay. Sounds like it.